What is the fourth industrial revolution and how it will affect the world we live in? It is building on the previous industrial revolutions we've had, from the first industrial revolution that improved our productivity through power generation, to the second, which was proper industrialization with mass manufacturing and improved infrastructure for transport. The third and most recent one was the evolution of electronic automation through computers and mass access to the internet. We'll be presenting you three main topics of the fourth industrial revolution: advanced robotics and how they're taking blue-collar jobs, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing, we'll explain. Next will be blockchain, and specifically cryptocurrencies, as an example of how they're transforming our world. Thirdly, we'll touch on the sharing economy, and as an example of new markets and opportunities being created and how this is affecting people's incomes. What is advanced robotics and how does it fit into the fourth industrial revolution? Well, it's about how advances in technology are making low-skilled jobs obsolete. Blue-collar jobs that involve simple, repetitive tasks will soon no longer be, as we have advances in technology that allow robots to become smarter and automate these jobs. They will no longer exist. An easy example is warehousing logistics, a simple, laborious job that is slowly being taken over by automated machinery. This isn't just an issue at an unemployment service level, but if you delve deeper into the problem, most of these blue-collar jobs are generally held by people that are classified as more unskilled, and therefore the wages are lower. This leads to another hurdle, what we'll need addressing, which is, if these lower skilled and lower paid jobs are the ones being taken away, this means that inequality in the economy could rise and widen and become an even greater issue than what it already is. A real-world example of this situation is warehouse and logistics jobs at a company called Oscardo in Andover, UK, an online grocery store that's processing 65,000 orders a week, or 3.5 million items a week, has moved basically all their ordering, picking and packing from human labour into automated robots. OECD, or the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, has predicted that around 14% of jobs in developed countries are at a high risk of being overtaken by robots. There is a general fear among people that unemployment will balloon and that those in more blue-collar jobs will be left without work because of this automation revolution through robots. However, this is quite a pessimistic outlook on things. In the past, as sectors have weakened and jobs have left them, and other sectors stood up and grown in demand for employees and jobs. This is evident in the fact World Economic Forum predicts that of all children starting primary school today, 65% of them will be doing a different job that doesn't even exist yet. Are there challenges with this new fourth industrial revolution? Absolutely. Will people have to upskill and specialise in certain areas? Absolutely. But it definitely isn't the doom and gloom outlook it can be seen on the surface level. This new increases in efficiency will be good for the economy as a whole.
Throughout the fourth industrial revolution, one of the most renowned technologies making headlines across the world is blockchain. Although currently blockchain is being used in a range of industries, for the sake of succinctness, we will focus on blockchain technologies using cryptocurrencies and its effect on commercial banking, and specifically the flow-on effects to employment and income.
Cryptocurrencies, or crypto in short, is a distributed ledger technology that provides a way to transfer data safely. In a transaction, it essentially circumvents the need for a middleman. Middlemen such as banks that charge relatively high fees, who can make mistakes and are less efficient on timing. Taking the cryptocurrency example further, the traditional model for commercial banking transactions is that a purchaser deposits currency that has a stable value into a bank account. The value of that currency is to some extent guaranteed by Federal Reserves or government or institutions. The purchaser then authorizes a transaction and the bank transfers the funds to the seller. The bank draws a transaction fee to safely transfer the money. If cryptocurrency were used in a similar transaction, it would be peer-to-peer with little to no transaction fee. But there is the risk that there is no guarantee of its value, as cryptocurrencies are decentralized and usually private. Its value may become more stable as larger institutions adopt it. As you can imagine, if blockchain technologies that use crypto become more prevalent in the commercial banking industry, we will see great disruption in that market, as banks will lose the transaction fee revenue. This would subsequently limit their ability to employ people, or they would be required to reduce wages to their employees. For example, in Australia, the Big Four banks are expected to cut 20,000 jobs in 2018, as this kind of technology will replace the functions of some of the original human departments. This effect on the commercial banking market is global because crypto technology efficiently operates across international borders and also eliminates the need for banks to hold high amounts of various currencies. As a high-level overview of its effect on the employment market, the use of blockchain and crypto would shift the employment market from demanding jobs that effect transactions to jobs that monitor transactions. This effect of blockchain on commercial banking industry can be seen as being analogous to the effect of algorithms used in the security trading industry. The traders have shifted to more of a monitoring the market through second-hand analysis by the algorithm technology. Likewise, for crypto and commercial banking, banks adopting the usage of crypto will see greater employment needs for a smaller but more specialized workforce that will monitor a large volume of crypto transactions, rather than having many low-level employees each effecting a smaller volume of transactions.
Hello, I'm Chengzhi Liu. I will talk about sharing economy in the fourth industrial revolution. The sharing economy connects buyers and sellers through a facilitator who usually operates an app or website.
A good example of this is Uber, which is a platform for connecting passengers and drivers. Asset owners can capitalize on their spare capacity when it's not in use, either monetarily or in exchange for another resource, such as seats in a privately owned car. The network changes the relationship between consumers and objects, helping Uber open more production and services, which can increase employment. The sharing economy brings unexpected new markets and ecosystems. A sub-example of this is Uber Eats. The sharing economy opened the way for rapid development of the economy. However, basic infrastructure may not be sufficiently mature to support the necessary requirements of new ecosystems and markets. This can be seen through delays in these ecosystems growing because of laws preventing them. Another major disadvantage of the sharing economy was that it led to the degradation of wages. Companies like Uber hire freelance workers whose revenue generally is less than the minimum wage. This may press mainstream businesses to lower their salaries. So, although employment opportunities may decrease overall, the efficiency of corporations to conduct transactions and supply products to the market will become cheaper and more profitable, as they will require far less human capital. In turn, if companies are taxed appropriately, then that advancements in technology will bring greater wealth overall to the economy and society in general, assuming governments implement taxes in a fair and equitable way that redistributes the wealth appropriately across all of society. Growing fears about inequality that we talked about earlier won't be a problem if this is done. Strictly speaking, income will likely decrease across the board, but this is where more progressive taxes will need to be implemented to supplement this income effect. However, benefits such as efficiency, savings, and overall productivity will likely outweigh that effect. And this is why the fourth industrial revolution should be embraced and not feared.